Hello, welcome back to Mind Network. I'm joined again by Kari Vuhtanen, the CEO of Endomines. It's been 4 months since we last had a chat. Kari, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Peter.
Why don't you just remind people of who you are and the company capital structure, and then we can sort of dive in as to what's happened since we last had a chat.
Yeah, okay, yes. Endomines is a Finnish gold mining company. So we have production facilities in Eastern Finland. We do a lot of exploration also, and then we have some assets in the USA where we are looking for a partnership arrangement. We are listed in Nasdaq Helsinki. The market cap is a little bit over 80 million euros.
So you're the best performing stock in Finland this summer, I hear?
Yeah, we are actually, yes. We are very happy about it. Like this summer we were chosen to be the best, like we were the best performing stock in the Helsinki stock exchange, and the whole year we are on a number 7, so not too bad.
So what, in your mind, what's the rationale behind that? Because obviously you've released some new production results, right, in the meantime, but obviously we've had a all-time high gold price. What are you weighing it up to? Why is the share price performing so well?
I think people are starting to see what is our long-term goal. Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like I know there is the gold price is supporting the growth, but still I think it comes down to that people are starting to see where we will be in 5 to 7 years time. So when they understand that we really have high potential to grow into completely different size companies, so they are now starting to invest.
Okay, well, why don't we talk about where you are right now? Because for those fresh to the story that potentially you didn't see the last video or haven't seen you guys before, obviously you're in production, but you've also got quite big growth plans in terms of exploration. Why don't you talk us a little bit about the production profile, what infrastructure you have at the moment, and what you're trying to build on?
Yes, we have the production facilities in the Eastern Finland, and we started the production just in early 22. So the first shipments were out in January 22, and we produced 8,600 ounces in 22. Last year we produced 12,700, and this year we are growing by 15 to 35%, so somewhere like 15 to 17,000 ounces. And our target is to grow to 20,000 and then beyond. And every year grow the production volume, like next 5 years have a steady growth. And then we are permitting, like there is a bigger area, what we call like a Southern Gold Line, and we started permitting this year. So we are doing the zoning and environmental impact assessment program, and we estimate that will be in production in 2030, 2031. And then we will really increase the levels to 70 to 100,000 ounces per year. That's the plan, and the exploration has been going extremely well. And so we think that it's something that will happen. It's more matter what year it will happen. So all the focus is there.
Good. All right. Before we go on to the exploration potential, I think we should touch on the production at the moment and how that's looking. So obviously, I think you released some half-year results. You're way above where you were last year. You're talking about obviously next year potentially growing even further to 20,000 ounces and beyond. Until you get this larger mine into production that you were talking about in 2030, 2031, how are you going to be incrementally adding value each year? Is there enough of a resource already in your inventory that you think that you can tap into some more production ounces?
We have, yes, and the place where we operate, it's called this Karelian Gold Line, and there is a long history, like 30-40 years. Outokumpu used to do a lot of exploration and geological survey of Finland, and there are a lot of known deposits, but they are fairly small. And that's the plan, that now we are taking the small deposits into production. Like this year we started a place called Hosko, like it's a small deposit 15 kilometers from the production facility. And that will bring the growth next 5 years, and we have still one which is fully permitted, and another one we expect the permit decision next year. So that will bring the growth, but then at the same time we do a lot of exploration and really have the aim is to get a large scale deposit that we take into production later.
Okay, and just for those obviously you're saying there's probably quite a few people now looking at this and joining the story for that sort of 5-7 year time horizon where they were expecting hopefully quite a large appreciation in the market cap if you are able to permit a much larger mine and get up to that higher production profile. But for those looking at it in a shorter time frame, within the next 2, 3, 4 years, what can we expect from an ounce and growth perspective, but also what's the cost basis for the ounces that you're making at the moment versus obviously the gold price that we have at the moment?
Currently, our cash cost, excluding investments, it's around 1,300 euros, and we expect it to decrease when the volumes increase. So we have a lot of fixed costs, like we have for example, the production facilities runs at 70%. But we have all the employees, of course, and electricity, for example, and so on. And the maximum capacity at the facility we estimate it to be around 30,000 without any investments. So the bottleneck for us has been to get the ore.
Yeah.
So that's why we are opening these open pit mines, and we have one underground mine where we still get maybe 70%, but then the open pits, they are now increasing the volumes, so that's very positive for us. So
obviously, like you're saying, there's a lot of fixed costs there, but if you are able to get more throughput in the mill, a lot of that is upside really for you in terms of profitability, because you already have such a large fixed cost base. So the more gold you're producing from that really is just upside from there. What's the max capacity of the mill currently as it stands?
It is approximately 30,000 ounces per year. It depends, of course, on the grade.
Yeah.
But that's how we estimate it to be.
Okay. All right. So you could essentially double what you're doing now. Okay. Good. Let's talk about the exploration upside then, because obviously, although there's a production story and a revenue story there, you're sort of saying there that a lot of people are looking more forward to seeing you turn into a 100,000 ounce producer. Where are you looking, and where's the likelihood of where you're going to be able to find that larger ore body to warrant an upgrade in the mill or a new mill entirely?
Yes, we started large scale exploration early last year, and we did really we have places what we call like a Southern Gold Line and then Northern Gold Line. So I try to keep it simple. Yeah. And in the south, that's where most of the growth has been. Like we had approximately 70,000 ounces. We over doubled it last year, and just to also point out that when we started the exploration, it's always you really have to look for where do you go and where do you start the exploration. And now after 1 year, we know really that where the deposits are open and where they are growing and where the potential is, and so a lot of the focus is in the southern line. And early this year we also tested at one of the deposits we tested that does it go to the deeper levels, because we only investigated the surface, and we got very positive results. So we expect those are orogenic gold deposits, so they usually do also go to the deeper levels. So a lot of the focus is in the south, but then also up north there is very interesting case, because we did 2,000 base of till samples last year, and we identified an area which is approximately 2 kilometers long and 500 meters wide, where there was a lot of good gold assays in the base of till. And now we did the first drilling this year, and we got really nice results, like 13 meters, close to 3 grams per ton, close to surface. And after the drilling, we realized that some of the drill holes went a little bit too far south. So now we are in 2 weeks' time. We are starting a new campaign in that area, like testing the northern part, and the expectations are very high that we get some nice results. But in the south, there is absolutely, the results are really fantastic, and we have done a lot of base of till, and the base of till indicates that there is a lot of potential for large scale deposits. So a lot of focus in the south.
Okay, good. Talk to me about how you're splitting up the drill campaign at the moment. Obviously, you've got these large potential deposits in the south. You've also got really nice anomalies and drill results from the north. What does the next campaign look like in terms of drilling and the amount of meters, total spend? And are there any results or assays that we're waiting from the past campaign left to come through?
We now have a plan, if we think about the September-December period, that we have one drill rig in the south, and the plan is 7,000 meters in the southern line, that's just to increase the resource. And then in the north we are drilling 2,500, 3,000 meters for this new area that we just found. We are still waiting for some assays back from the drilling we did during the summer, but actually now currently the situation is fairly good. So most of the results we have received, but we have really high expectations now in the south and also in the north. And the whole year we are drilling, I would say 24,000 meters exploration, and then underground maybe 9,000. So quite a large campaigns.
Okay. And when you're saying the underground, so the underground that you're drilling the 9,000, that's through the current operation, is it, to extend the mine life? Is that
yeah, that's we are drilling now the lower levels.
Yeah.
The lower levels so that we can extend the mine life.
Okay. And okay, so that's quite deep, right? How deep are we talking there? That's what?
We are 900 meters 900 below meters. Surface, yeah. And
versus the more greenfield exploration in the south and the north that you were talking about, what sort of depths are you looking at putting the drill rig down to for those discoveries?
We have been focusing, and we are still mainly focusing the upper levels, so just 150 meter drill holes, and early this year we did some of the drill holes. They were 500 meters, so just to check that there was the continuation, and that was very positive that there was. So we are very happy about it.
Good. All right. And what's the plan? Because you're obviously talking about production in 2030, 2031. I mean, we're in 24 now. Are you expecting that following this next drill campaign that you'll be able to get a new resource out, a new wireframe around what you've drilled, and how far away are you from really looking at the economics of what potentially could be there?
We update the resources every year, and in the permitting studies, because the permitting takes quite a long time, as you know. So in the permitting studies, we are permitting two options: that we expand the current mill to, for example, 80,000 ounces, or we have the existing 30,000 and then we build another one down south. And every year we increase the resources, so we have 5 years time to do the exploration, increase the resource base, and we have to still design the facilities a lot upfront, so because we don't know exactly where the deposits, where the limits are.
Yeah.
Like we know that there is gold, but what is actually the shape of the deposit and where the mine will be exactly, it's still yet to be defined. So we just have to draw with the big brush that it's over here, the mine will be here, and the capacity will be this, and the facilities will be here, and so on. But we have done so much work now in the 2 years that we are confident that there is gold. We just have to define exactly where it is and so on. But we can start to, I think we can start to do economics on the plans next year.
Okay.
So starting to calculate what is the capex and what will be the cost of the mining. Currently, when we have investigated only the upper levels, then it's mainly the resources for open pit, but we also have some underground areas where we will design like an underground mine.
Okay, but in terms of permit, obviously you've gone through that process quite a bit already with the existing mines that are existing and permitted. I mean, how long is that process from start to finish? Because if you're starting now, is that a 4-year process? Is it? Do you think, or 3 year?
It is. I would say 4 years, but we are also estimating that there could be like an appeal process which takes 1 more year.
Okay.
Or so. We haven't had much of appeals in our case because we have a very strong support from the locals, and we are doing a lot of work together, and we use the local subcontractors, hire local people, and we are very open in what we do. So we have a strong support. But we think what is really important, and I think now the investors are starting to realize it, is that if you think about the shareholder value, it will come a lot earlier than in 5 years. Like I think it will be, it will happen when people really realize that this is what will happen in 5 years' time, and this is the plan, and this is how much it will cost, and this is how much the EBITDA will be, and so on, and therefore we are seeing also this increase in the share price now in Finland.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, because obviously you look at companies like Rupert, obviously very large deposit, so it's 4 million ounces at 2.5 grams, but they're essentially at PEA, PFS stage soon, and they're anywhere between a 700 to a billion market cap, right? And I think this is the great thing with a production cycle like you have. You're less reliant on capital markets and less reliant on dilution because of your production profile, but you then, if you can back up what you're saying with the exploration results, I think you are right that there's always a value to ounces in the ground if people believe that it's extractable, right? And as you de-risk, those ounces in the ground usually become more valuable. So you're probably right in terms of, as you're moving along this process over the next couple of years, you've already got your base nav on what people should be valued on the revenue business. But then there's also that blue sky, I hate the word blue sky, but blue sky potential in the ground. What can we be looking out for over the next, because let's just stay on Finland for a minute, what can we be looking out for, say, in the next 12 months? Obviously you've got this campaign, when are we expecting assays, when will you then start looking at this resource update that you were talking about?
Well, the next 12 months we are looking for very strong H2. If you think about the production, we are looking for very strong H2, because we are now in a situation where first time we actually have 3 production locations. We started the latest open pit in February, and in the beginning it's quite small scale. So now we are starting to have 3 locations, and production wise it will be strong, and we are expecting nice growth. Then in the exploration, it's full steam ahead, and a lot of drilling in the south, and because there is approximately 7,000 meters, so we plan to publish the results in two phases. So after 3,000 later this year we will publish some update, and then in most likely in January, like the whole 7,000 that what was there, and then the resource update in February, approximately February. And then this interesting area up north, there we should get results by December. So this year we should have all the results, and if there is something really exciting, then we might extend the campaign to be a little bit larger.
Okay, good. moving away from Finland, obviously there was a moment in Endomines history quite a few years back now where you were looking like you might be a United States-based company or at least with assets there. What's happening with those assets at the moment? Obviously, when we last spoke, you said you were looking for JV partners on those or partners on those assets. How will conversations go in on that front? And I guess what could a deal look like if you was to do something along those lines? What sort of relationship are you looking for on those assets?
Yeah, that has been a longer process what we thought of when we started, but there is a lot of interest, and especially now with the high gold price, there is interest. Like there are currently, I think the main difficulty has been that especially with smaller mid-size mining companies, the capital markets in UK or Canada, they are not so strong. And that has been an item which has affected the negotiations. But we are continuing the negotiations. We are most likely we have been looking for exiting the Idaho assets where we have 5 assets, and then we could keep the Montana assets. We have 2 assets there. And in US Grant, which is in Montana, there is also silver, quite a lot of silver. And we have done some permitting there, so that's something that has been going quite well, that we have been negotiating with the authorities, what would be the bond if we start production and so on. So that has been something that we have put a little bit forward.
Well, that might help. I mean, if it's shovel ready by the time that you hand it over, I think that might be a bit more appealing. Because I think a lot of people don't like going through that. They like to have the de-risk of the permitting done, don't they? Before they take on an asset. So I guess to summarise the story, then it's you've got your, or in my mind anyway, you've got this base case value, and I guess some downside risk is mitigated somewhat based on your revenue and growth and production growth. And I guess the main thing I would probably most people should be looking at therefore is what happens with the drill bit moving forward on the greenfield side, right? Because you're steadily proving to the market that you are increasing your production output year on year, and hopefully that does continue. So really the real upside is what can you monetize from the USA and what can you get with the drill bit? Would that be fair enough?
Yes, I think so. Yes,
Yeah.
After we approved the new strategy in June 22, I think we have proved that we can continuously increase the production, and also we have proved that there is gold in the Karelian Gold Line when you do the exploration. But now it's just a matter of really building up the resources, because in the beginning of the exploration, it's more just to find the most potential places, and if there is if you do drilling somewhere and you notice that it's not going to be large scale, then you just move on and move to the next place. And now we are confident that we are in the right place in the Southern Gold Line, for example. Yeah,
don't be a stubborn geologist and stick to one spot no matter what. If do what the data tells you. Good.
Exactly.
And I think in terms of the gold price at the moment, obviously we did a really good webinar on gold a couple of months back with Pierre Lassonde and Eric Sprott and quite a few other people. And I think one of the key messages there is gold is obviously money. And I think if there's questions around the gold price, it would be whether or not you believe the dollar is going to strengthen or if it's been debased. So obviously we've just had the Fed come out recently saying that they are looking to cut rates soon, which should be good news for gold. So at least in the short term, I assume you're pretty confident with the gold price? Yeah,
we are quite optimistic because of the interest rate cuts and also the political turmoil in the USA and what happens with the presidential elections and so on, and also the geopolitical situation where there is wars and you never know if they are going to escalate or something. So on a short term, it looks fairly strong, and the US dollar currently in Finland, the estimate is, or has been, when I've been talking with the banks, it has been that it's yes, it's going to weaken a little bit, but not too much. So the outlook looks positive.
Yeah, well, look, if it can stay, I think I remember a few years back, it was when it was around 1600. When it got to 1600, everyone was beaming with happiness. It was amazing. And then obviously we got to above 2000 during COVID and 2200. Now we're 2500. I mean, if we can stay at rates like these, I'm sure you guys are going to have a pretty good few years ahead of you. So yeah, no, looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, Kari, thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot, Peter.